Hello everyone and welcome to SWAGourmet. This is episode 6, it's been a while, but I'm glad to say that after our summer of swag, our first season of 5 episodes is complete. So welcome to season 2 of SWAGourmet. So today I'm going to show you how to make 2 different recipes using flatbread. Flatbread, really versatile, and there's flatbread from all around the world. So I'm going to show you recipes using Indian flatbread called naan and your traditional Mexican flatbread called tortillas. So first, welcome to my pizza party. So using our Indian naan bread, I'm going to show you how to make a really easy pizza using this flatbread as our dough. So, first step, we have our naan from our supermarket. You can find these at your local wholesale store or supermarket. They sell them everywhere. So that's our first step. Next, 1 can of tomato sauce, just like you buy in the store like this. Comes in a can, so 1 can of that. And usually these things aren't as flavorful as we would like them to, so we're going to enhance it just a little bit using some basic swag seasonings and also some other Italian seasonings that will really boost the flavor. So in here I have salt and pepper, our basic swag seasonings, and I also have some dried oregano and dried basil. And one reason dried herbs are actually really good for doing things like this with spice rubs are the dried flakes of seasonings are really concentrated in flavor. So though they may be small, they're flavor packed. So, I'm going to go ahead and just get a few pinches here. Again, this is salt, black pepper, dried basil, and dried oregano. So in this bowl with our 1 can of tomato sauce, I'm just going to add a few pinches of that. Just stir. And really, one reason I like this recipe is that there's so many directions you can go with it, not many rules. So if there are other Italian spices you like, add those to the sauce also. Just a great base of tomato sauce with any other spices you like. Alright, good. Now our next ingredient I'm going to add, oh by the way, also this has some garlic powder in there, so that'll also give a nice nutty flavor. So again, salt, black pepper, garlic powder, oregano, and basil. Now next, you may not be used to having this ingredient in your tomato sauce, but I really like cooking with this ingredient. It's goat cheese. So goat cheese being a really tangy but sweet cheese, that's why I like it flavor-wise, but also texture-wise, it's really creamy. So when you add it to a sauce like this, it'll make it really creamy in texture, really smooth, but also give it a nice tangy sweet flavor. So I just have a few chunks of that here. Again, find it in your supermarket, pretty common cheese. So a few spoonfuls of that goat cheese. I'm going to stir it into my sauce. And stir this pretty diligently because the goat cheese, it is soft, but it can also be kind of hard, especially when you're stirring it in. So put some elbow grease into it. And you'll notice that one indication will be that your sauce will start turning a little lighter in color because of the white goat cheese that's being stirred into it. So that'll be a good sign that you're doing the right thing. Alright. Oh yeah, good trick, you can get the goat cheese up against the side of the bowl. So kind of smash it there and then stir it in. So again, you'll see the color start to turn a little lighter. As it's doing now. It started with a bright red, and now it's turning almost kind of pink. So that's the white from the goat cheese. So again, there's no specific amount of cheese you have to put in here. If you like this ingredient, add more. I like this ingredient, so I'll add a little bit more. But just a few spoonfuls. And again, a good marker will be how light this sauce is turning. And it's okay if there's still a few chunks of this cheese in there, that's alright. Alright, so that should be good. And so that's the end of our sauce. So again, our sauce has in here 1 can of tomato sauce, we have some dried basil, some dried oregano, some garlic powder, salt and pepper, and some goat cheese. So now that that's good to go, I'll go ahead and spread it on my 2 pieces of naan bread, which will be our pizza crust. Alright. Make sure you cover generously. So again, no specific amount, just a few spoonfuls until you start to cover the bread, and leave some room at the edges for the crust, as you would on pizza you eat normally. So really work the middle. Leave about a centimeter or 2 on the edges for your crust. Okay, very nice, got a nice coating there. And again on our second piece. Awesome. you have your standard cheese, so let's start with that. I've actually got 3 different types of cheese here, plus our goat cheese that we already used. But first, just your general mozzarella cheese, you know, an Italian cheese. I'm sure you're really familiar with it. I have some shredded mozzarella here, so that's going to be our base. That's going to be our first cheese we're going to add. So we're just going to add that right on top of our sauce. Not too much, but cover up the sauce there. Alright. And see, no specific measurement. Don't worry about any measuring spoons. Use your judgment. Just cover up the sauce. If you like a lot of cheese, go extra cheese. If you don't, less cheese is fine too. That looks good for me. And see, we're not just making a plain cheese pizza. I'm going to add some toppings that I like on my pizza that really give it a solid flavor. Really basic with your cheese and your sauce, but also some really great flavorful toppings. So those toppings will be some spinach. So I'll use spinach that you find in your supermarket. Gives a great savory flavor while also can give some crunch. And then we have tomatoes and onions. Beautiful. Like the colors of the Italian flag here. Huh. Alright, so tomatoes, I've sliced them, then cut them in half. So we have this shape here. Then I have some onions. I sliced those onions as well, did the same thing as the tomatoes, sliced them and cut them in half. So I've got little half browns here. So of course the onions will give us a nice flavor, and our tomato will give us a nice fresh flavor as well. First, I'm going to lay down our spinach. You can tear it if you like, very easy, so have your younger brothers or sisters help you with this. Everyone can grab some spinach, however much you like, just like with our pasta salad we made a few episodes back. Pieces don't have to be too small. There you go. This will be enough for that pizza, and for a second pizza. Good. You hear the crunch of the spinach. It's going to be great on our pizza. Crunch has a break in that there. Alright, swag. That's it for our spinach. Now, with our tomatoes and onions, I'm going to go ahead and lay our tomatoes down next because I want the onions to be that last really pungent flavor as you bite into the pizza. So our next layer, on top of our sauce, mozzarella, spinach, is going to be some tomatoes. So spread them around the pizza. This. Again, this is a great way to have others in your family or your friends who are over help you make this really easy dish. Nothing complicated. Rip up the spinach, shred your cheese, lay down your tomatoes, nothing to it. Alright, so now we've got our sauce, our mozzarella, our onions, and our tomatoes, and our spinach. Finally, we'll add our onions. If you're a big onion fan, go crazy. If you're not a big lover, go a little more reserved if you like. Okay, looks good for that. Other one that you do, no measurements, add as much as you want. Alright, and again, this is looking so beautiful so far. We have our red tomato sauce, red tomatoes, green spinach, white cheese. Great. See, and we're almost ready to go in the oven. So few steps, so few ingredients, and they're all easy ingredients to find. Easy steps as well. So next, I have some provolone cheese, another Italian cheese. The reason we like to put it on pizza, it's easy to melt. So you'll find this often on Italian meatball sandwiches, other paninis, because it's really easy to melt in the oven. Very mild cheese, so it doesn't have too strong of a flavor, but it can be some, kind of smoky also. So a nice cheese to lay on top. Just a few slices here. Again, this is in your supermarket, not a rare cheese, very common. So this will melt right on top, be nice and gooey. That looks good. Our last cheese we're going to add is some Parmesan, Parmigiano Reggiano. I'm no Italian, but I think I can say it alright. Pretty standard cheese toppings for your pasta and also for our pizza here. So, again, use your discretion if you like Parmesan a lot. But again, this will be a nice nutty cheese to add right on top. So we have the nice, strong flavor from our onions, savory from our spinach, light and refreshing, yet flavorful from our tomatoes. Nice, great sauce, easy, but we added some nice Italian seasonings. And then just a nice nutty way with the Parmesan cheese right on top. And our last 3 garnishes before putting it in the oven. I just have a little bit of garlic powder. Again, get some more of that garlic flavor. Savory and nutty. Again, just a few pinches. Alright. Then, some crushed red pepper. Some red pepper flakes. I like to garnish my dishes with this. Nice pop of flavor there. If you don't like things too spicy, you leave this out. If you like things spicy, bring on the heat. Last but not least, just some olive oil to drizzle on top. Not only will this give us a nice flavor, but also when you drizzle olive oil on top of baked goods like our pizza dough, it makes it nice and crunchy in the oven. So that's what we're going for. Alright, so our pizzas are now ready to go in the oven. So what do we have on here? We have our tomato sauce, which had our garlic powder, salt, pepper, basil, and oregano. We have our spinach, tomato, onions, mozzarella cheese, provolone cheese, Parmesan cheese, red chili flakes, olive oil. Beautiful, delicious. Now let's stick it in the oven. 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. We'll check on it then, and let's see how it's going.